The penultimate day of our LV Game of the Week between Lancashire and Surrey at Emirates Old Trafford was another good one for the visitors, who began it by removing the soon-to-be-retired Ashwell Prince in the morning's fifth over, the South African out for 45 to Tom Curran. Sam Curran's day didn't begin as well, although that was soon to change after he started it with figures of 3 for 40 from a dozen overs. Aaron Lilly attacked him first thing, striking the 17-year-old talent for 3 boundaries in an over. Lilly looked to fight fire with fire. Lancashire had resumed their innings on 141 for 5 at the start of play, needing 190 more to avoid the follow-on. Lilly and Jordan Clark were doing their best to take such a thing out of the equation, and they took the total to 201 by adding 48 runs for the 7th wicket in 11 overs together. Then Curran Jr. did what he's starting to do quite a lot, movement winning him another LBW to get rid of Clark for 29, this time from around the wicket. Surrey's director of cricket Alex Stewart had said of the youngster on the previous day that his achievements thus far have been quite staggering. And he showed just what he is capable of next ball when he ripped out Tom Bailey's middle stump. The development of a boy who only made his first-class debut 2 months ago against Kent has quickly become one of the stories of the summer, one he will remember with great fondness before he heads back to school. This was his second fifer in just his 5th match. Sam is nearly 21 years younger than his captain Gareth Batty, a man who had yet more to celebrate in the next over, as Lilly played 1 shot too many and picked out Matt Dunn, who took a good catch at mid-wicket after the batsman had made 33 of a score of 207 for 9. 3 wickets had fallen for 6 runs to put Surrey right on top, but for the next hour they were held up by James Anderson and Simon Kerrigan. The Burnley Lara was to record the best score of his county career the day after he'd grabbed his 700th first-class wicket. That other Lara would have been pretty pleased with that reverse sweep for 4. This is a shot that Anderson would have greatly enjoyed as he began to take on the Surrey attack, but in reality it was very, very unlikely that this last pair were going to score the 124 runs they required to ensure that Surrey batted again next. For 15 overs, these two showed what was possible with the bat, both making the most of the Curran brothers being out of the attack and the fact that Zafar Ansari was missing after dislocating his thumb in the field on the previous day. As it was to turn out, this was the second best partnership of the innings, made by 2 men not really known for their batting skills. Anderson went to his best ever score for Lancashire, beating the 37 not out he made for them against Durham at the same ground 11 summers ago. There were no records here as Tom Curran was brought back on to bowl Anderson for 42. He left Kerrigan undefeated on 23 out of a total of 272 all out, which had Lancashire 208 runs behind on first innings as the players had lunch. Perhaps surprisingly, it was Surrey who came out to bat on the resumption, Batty deciding against enforcing the follow-on on a wearing pitch, which he would have been looking forward to bowling last on. With no Ansari, Rory Burns opened up with Ben Foakes on the day that he was named in the England Lions T20 squad for a series with Pakistan A, and these two showed off Surrey's intentions straight away by blasting 42 runs in 6 overs. Bailey brought an end to the entertainment by trapping Foakes in front for 14, but all that did was bring in Kumar Sangakkara, who was to play yet another awe-inspiring innings for his county. It was his knock in the One Day Cup semi-final which was the difference between his team and Nottinghamshire and took Surrey to this weekend's Lord's final, and he really just picked up from that innings, the situation ideal for him to play in a one-day mode. He was soon hitting boundaries for fun, each one pretty much ensuring that Surrey could not possibly lose this game, and that will see them head into the last round of fixtures as favourites to claim the second division title. Given the difference in bonus points in the first innings of this match, a win in Manchester would now be enough for them to lift the trophy ahead of next week's contest at the Kia Oval with Northamptonshire. Sangakkara was at his latest 50 off 62 balls, an innings containing 7 fours. At this stage, the runs were coming at a very good lick, at around 6 per over in fact, the lead for the visitors by now already at 326. The Sri Lankan was at his best on this occasion, one sublime stroke following another as he continued to race through the numbers, scoring 72 out of the second wicket partnership of 108 runs, which were compiled in only 20 overs. Burns had been very happy to play the supporting role, getting to 44 before he clipped Kerrigan to Anderson at mid-wicket. Importantly, Kerrigan and Lilly managed to put the brakes on the Surrey batsman for a while, but Sangakkara was not going to be stopped, and every time he had the opportunity to find the boundary rope, more often than not he did. 2 successive fours off Kerrigan had the living legend at the 54th first-class 100 of his remarkable career, one which has also seen him reach 3 figures 36 other times in the one-day format. He struck 13 fours in getting to his latest ton off just 115 balls, just the innings his side required from him. After all, the 37-year-old hardly ever disappoints. He had the lead into the 400s after tea, adding 60 runs for the third wicket with Stephen Davis, who was out for 21 when he drove Stephen Croft to Kerrigan. The situation was set up nicely for Jason Roy, but he came and went in a flash, somehow dragging a wide ball from Lilly back onto his stumps after making 6 of a total of 217 for 4. Sam Curran was promoted up the order to have a hit but was out for a duck. Croft with his second success and Anderson with his second catch, a very smart one after the ball had brushed the body of Phil Mustard behind the stumps. There may have been smiles on the Lancashire faces, but this was now a job of damage limitation for them. Sangakkara's exceptional innings was brought to an end on 118, Croft completing the dismissal all by himself. The Gloucestershire bowlers, watching the rain come down in Canterbury, would have no doubt been trying to work out ways to get rid of Sangakkara cheaply in Saturday's one-day final. Even though the lead stood at 451 now, Surrey still batted on, and Tom Curran and Gary Wilson were able to warm up for the weekend by playing a few shots. This had become a dominant day as far as the visiting team were concerned. In 5 overs, this pair blasted the ball around the park in adding 40 more runs to the tally. The declaration finally came when Curran was bowled by a turner from Croft, who, for only the 3rd time in his career, had managed to take at least 4 wickets in an innings. He ended with 4 for 35, Surrey finishing their second innings on 283 for 7, made from 54 overs and 1 ball. Lancashire had been set a target of 492 in a minimum of 103 overs, but crucially for now they had to see out the 7 overs of this particular day, something that Carl Brown and Hasib Hamid were able to do. Both camps were in agreement after the day's play about the state of this match.
Definitely behind it, and it's going to be a tough day tomorrow. We had a similar scenario last week down at Kent. I mean, we did well to bat out for the day, so I think to stay alive in this championship we have to bat out the day and take it into next week.
470 ahead, end of the day. Sanger obviously played beautifully and got into his rhythm pretty quickly. Obviously gave him a little bit of strike rotation, let him do his thing, but we're in a good place.
So Lancashire entered the final day on 22 without loss, needing a further 470 to win, or they will have to bat out the day to take the second division title race into next week.